I'm Kanupriya Sharma and I welcome you to this video by GMAT QuizMaster. A lot of CR questions test your understanding of the relationship between percentage and absolute values, and that is where a lot of students get confused and they falter very easily. So, I am creating this video to explain the factors that can be relevant or how you can simplify the relationship to understand what information you have and which inferences can be drawn. So, let's get started with this example. So on your screen, you can see that I have considered two entities, X and Y. Right now, their absolute value is same, that is 2020. So they constitute 50% each. You can check that in the pie diagram as well. So the value is same. They both have 50% share. Total is 40. Now, the percentage of X or the percentage of Y, it can be calculated using the same formula. And I think all of you know this formula. This percentage X is equal to value of X divided by sum of value of X plus value of Y. Now, with this understanding, we will consider two cases. The first case in which we know that value of X has increased. So, what all inferences can be drawn in that case? That is the first case. The second case is when we know that percentage of X has increased. So, what all inferences can be drawn in that case? Let's get started. So let's consider the first case, that is when we are given that value of x has increased. If this is given to us that value of x has increased, can we definitely infer that percentage of x will increase? Because a lot of CR questions test this understanding. So let us understand whether or not we can infer anything about percentage of x. So let's consider some cases here. We know that x has increased. So let's consider this case in which x has increased from 20 to 30. You can see that y has not increased here. Total has increased from 40 to 50 and percentage of x has increased. Now this is a case in which y was constant. There was no change. What if y also increases? Let's say y increases from 20 to 25. Again, the total increases, the percentage of x also increases. If you understand this in detail, you will notice that percentage of x will increase till increase in y. This increase is less than increase in x. So here you can see the increase in y is 5 units, increase in x is 10 units. That is why percentage of x has increased. If you change it to 29, again increase in y is 9 units, increase in x is 10 units. That is why percentage of x has increased. So this percentage will increase if increase in x is more than increase in y. If, let's say, this increase becomes equal, if both x and y increase equally, the total will increase, but the percentage will remain constant. It will not change. So, this is another scenario. If both x and y are increasing equally, there will be no impact on the percentage of x. Let's consider another scenario in which both x and y are increasing, but y is increasing more than x. So here you can see the total increases. Y increased by 15 units while x increased only by 10 units. The percentage of x has reduced in this case. So in this case, the percentage of x will not increase. So to answer this question, if value of x has increased, will percentage x definitely increase? The answer is no. It depends on the value of y. Now, in CR arguments, you may or may not be given anything about the impact or the change in value of y. So, you need to understand what information is given to you. If you can infer any of these cases or any other case based on the information, and then decide whether percentage of x can increase, will it definitely increase, will it definitely reduce, will it change or not. So the inferences that you can draw depends on the information that is given to you. Do not consider that if value of x increases, the percentage of x will definitely increase. So let's consider case 2, in which the question tells us that percentage of x has increased. In this scenario, can we say that value of x would have increased definitely. Can we make that inference? Let's understand it. So the percentage of x is calculated using this formula. Value of x divided by value of x plus value of y. So it is difficult to make any inference directly about value of x because it is there in the numerator as well as the denominator. We can think of some scenarios in which percentage of x will increase in terms of numerator and denominator. So the first scenario here can be in terms of numerator and denominator that numerator has increased more than the denominator. In that case, percentage of x it would increase. So an increase in percentage of x means that the numerator may have increased more than the denominator. An example can be that x has increased from 50 to 60% while y has reduced from 50 to 40%. Here you can see the denominator has increased by 0 units, but the numerator has increased by 4 units. So the numerator has increased more than the denominator. And you can try any other value here. Let's say the denominator increases by 1 unit. You'll see that for this percentage, the numerator will increase by 4.6 units. Similarly, if we increase the denominator by 2 units, the numerator will increase by 5.2 units. So if percentage of x has increased, there is a possibility that the numerator has increased more than the denominator. Let's consider the second possibility, which is that the numerator has increased while the denominator has reduced. So if the denominator has reduced, so it was 40 in the original case, right? Now, if it has reduced, let's make it 39. You can see the numerator has still increased in this scenario and the percentage of x has increased. So in this case also the value of x is going up. So you can consider other some other values also. The denominator has reduced by 2 units while the numerator has increased by 2.8 units. The third scenario can be that the numerator has also reduced, the denominator has also reduced, but numerator has reduced less than the denominator. So in this case, the value of x will not reduce. So you can consider it to be, let's say 30. If the denominator has reduced by 10 units, but you can see that the numerator has reduced by only 2 units. That is why the percentage of x has increased here. So in this case, while the percentage of x has increased from 50 to 60%, the value of x has actually reduced from 20 to 18. So the answer here, will value of x definitely increase? The answer here is no again. So again, if it is given to you that percentage of x has increased, you can infer these possibilities that one of these, this may be possible. You cannot be sure that the value of x would have increased. Fine. Hope you will be able to apply this understanding on all CR questions testing the relationship between percentages and absolute values. Good luck.